Charlie Kaufman here, CEO of Clipcrafts. I'm going to do a little video to show you how easy it is to install our motorised backdrop roller system. First thing I must tell you is I am not a qualified builder. I'm not the world's best person in DIY. In fact, at home, I'm not allowed to do any DIY. So bear with me as I muddle my way through this demonstration. So let's show you what you get inside the box. So inside the box you get 3 of the expanders with the motorised system on the end. You get the control unit, which has the power supply at the back, and you get 3 expanders with no motor at the end, and you get 2 brackets. Now the nice thing with the motorised system, the triple, is you'll notice there's a stand grip here. So if you actually want to use this system as a completely mobile option, you can with nice heavy duty lighting stands like that, possibly an Avenger. This bracket has 2 holes in, so this is the bracket where the control unit clips to the side. So I'm going to have this on the right hand side of my system purely because I have the power supply on the right hand side. Please take no notice of this horrific wall. One of the reasons I'm putting a backdrop system in what used to be our old reception is to hide this ugly wall to save getting a decorator. So, strange one here, these can be fitted to the wall, like so, or to the ceiling. If you can, I always prefer a ceiling version because it means that all the backdrops hang down equally rather than wall mounted, one is always going to be lower than the others. You can, from a hardware store, buy lovely big heavy duty brackets like these, mount some wood to the bottom and fix this like so, to give you that option if you haven't got a ceiling that you can hang off. But I'm lucky enough that I have got a ceiling that I can hang into. Now the other nice thing, and I'm going to be a bit lazy with my installation because cutting corners is okay, sometimes we have to do that. In my ceiling the wood joists go this way, across. Ideally it would be great if they were that way, but then I'm restricted where in the ceiling I hang because I really want to get a good firm fixing with at least one of the brackets straight into the wooden joist. And I've got a wooden joist just to the left hand side of this light that I've got coming down. So this one here I'm going to go straight through into the wooden joist, no wall plugs, nice 2-inch wood screws straight into the joist. I'm then going to measure off this, because the backdrop I'm putting up is 2.72 metres in length, so I'm going to put the expanders in each end, measure that width, and that's where my second bracket goes. But because I'm not going to go into a joist on that side, I'm going into a plaster wall. I'm going to use these plaster fixings here, which I've always used, and they're pretty good. These screw straight into the plasterboard as a raw plug and a screw in one. So let's see how I get on. So I've actually used the right angle of that bracket to make sure that this is nice and straight. I've taken my pen and I've made the 4 holes where I'm going to make some little pilot holes in here and here to make the screwing in easier. Safety is paramount, so make sure you're using your safety goggles. I'm going to do some pilot holes now into the joist. Bang! Only joking. Yeah, Nick's always worried I'm going to go through the electric. And the nice thing is I can feel that I've hit the wooden joist, which is good. Right, so those 2 I can now feel I haven't hit the wooden joist, so no problem at all. Is what I'm going to do for those. I'm just going to use my favourite little plaster boys. No problem at all. These are my favourite wall fixings. Straight onto a screw bit. And I know where they're going. Straight in there. Perfect. So now I'm going to get myself a couple of screws. I'm going to use wood screws. Nice and long. Give it a good little fix. And then I need 2 screws for the other fixings that have their own screws, also a nice length. And we're going to get this bracket straight in. This is the point where you really want to have 3 or 4 hands. As you can tell, I only have 2, but I'm sure we can make it work. So straight into the pilot hole. Oopsie daisy. People do say oopsie daisy in the UK. As you remember, Hugh Grant saying in Notting Hill. Lovely fixing in there. I'm going to use one of the silver ones on the back. Going in here. To be totally honest with you, 2 really good fixings, going to go nowhere at all, but we will put obviously all 4 in. One more. As I said, I'm not the best DIY. Right, now that's come out, but that you can hang off. So we have 2 expanders. The one without the motor goes on this side. The one with the motor goes on that side. So first thing you do is just like any manual system, these go into the backdrop, as you'll see. Now the nice thing about the non-motor expander is you do have some wiggle room if you are a little bit off with your bracket. As you see this clip here, you've got some wiggle room there. Not a problem if you are an inch or so off in your measurements. Motor side goes in on the other side. And the nice thing about our system, we supply all of the backdrops you order for it already mounted onto the aluminium poles. And these can be up to any width, up to 3 meters, which is 9.84 feet in width. It's not a problem at all. Just tighten up this expander nice and tight. You can always ask us for spare aluminium poles, the same width as your system, and then you can take existing backdrops onto it as well. But remember, we only sell the system complete with our clip props. Multi-award winning British made backdrops. I'm going to take the tape measure now, and I'm going to measure from here. So it's this clip here. I'm going to go just inside the clip so I can get a good fixing on it. All the way to here. And I'm going to go into the middle of that. And that is exactly 112 inches. So that's where I'm going to go. This actual backdrop is 107 inches, which is 2.72 meters, the same size as standard paper rolls. So that's my suggestion in buying the backdrop system and setting it that width, so you can use the paper seamless if you want to go that route. Personally, we don't use paper, we use the pastels and prime solids. So we're going to go 112 inches. So that means that my second bracket needs to be 112 inches away from my first bracket. Simples. So remember, I need the second bracket 112 inches away from the first bracket. How am I going to do this on my own? I know, let's see if this will work. Remember, it doesn't have to be exact because I've got 2 or 3 inches of what I call wiggle room. Let's see if this will work. So far, so good. I've got my 112 inches is there. So, second bracket, I've mounted it literally the size of my tape measure from the wall. So what I can do is literally do that. So it'll be the same. I actually did notice they come with the holes for the control unit in both ends, so it really is not a problem which way you go in the end. Now it's going to go there, into the middle, just check it looks straight, and it looks perfectly straight to me. So I'm going to make my holes for the plaster wall plugs, just marking it out. I'll drop the pen because, as I said, muddled my way through it. Wall plug ready. Up we go. This is really so easy. I think the whole install here can be no more than about 20 minutes. And believe it or not, we haven't sped anything up. All I've done is try to create it as in real time as possible for you, so you can get an idea. If you're not confident to do it, just get a handyman to do it. You certainly do not need a contractor. I know one of our competitors in the US sell a motorised roller system, and you literally need a structural engineer to install it. It costs around $2,000 to $2,500 just for the system. Remember, with Clip Clops, for the same price, you're getting a whole set of backdrops to go with it. Ah, right, okay. So we've hit another wooden joist, that's good. Because I'll be able to go straight into that one. So it seems I've got a solid wood beam at the back corner one. So I'm going to try my luck and go straight in with this and see if I get a nice strong fixing. Wish me luck. Sometimes you're just lucky. It's a solid wood joist in there, so I can go straight in on the other side. Now straight into the metal wall plugs, which are here somewhere. That's it. Remember what I said? Muddle my way through it. And again, that is going absolutely nowhere. Well, I'm happy with that. Woo. So, as you can see, both the brackets are up. I still have 10 fingers, both my eyes. I survived. This is the control box made by Nang Wang. Very simple. All we're going to do is unscrew these little bolts on the back. I'm going to take those off. One. And number two. So I've taken those off. We're going to go up the ladder nice and carefully. And we're going to reattach that through the bracket. So it gets nice, number one, And number 2 goes on the outside of the bracket. One and 2. We then take the power adapter, which is here, and that slots over and down. That is in, goes around the front and into the plug. Now Luke, this is the one that you need somebody else to help you. So Luke's going to bring the ladder to the other side. We're going to take the backdrop. We're going to lift it. Just going to undo the little cable here. And roll it. Going over the top. I'm going to put this one on the back. Just because why not? I'll put my end first, and as you can see that just slots in on the back. Luke's got his one in there. And this one here I'm going to put into C, which is on there. That's controller number C into point number C. And all we will have then is this power supply. Now it comes with an EU plug. I know the UK is not part of the EU anymore, but we get them from the EU. All UK sales, we will give you the plug adapter with it, which is here. For US sales, you'll have to buy it yourself from Amazon. It's about $5 or $6, and that gives me into the plug socket down here. And we are literally moments away from success of installing our backdrop roller system. Now, if you remember right at the beginning of this demonstration video when I said I'm not a handyman, I'm not good at DIY, and I'm going to fumble my way through it, well, I hit a little snag. And ideally, I should have moved my bracket another inch away from the wall, because I now don't have enough room for the power cable to come out of there to go in. But it does not matter. I'll tell you why. Because what we're going to do is get some double-sided tape. Power supply weighs very little. I'm going to put the double-sided tape on the back of my power supply, like so. You know what, in life, sometimes you get thrown lemons. You just got to make lemonade, not worry about it. But when you do it, just remember, another inch away from the wall is great. But if you haven't got the space, this is another way of doing it. So I've got my cable. I'm literally going to stick the power supply now I'm going to put that in. Make sure I've got enough space. I don't want to cover my control unit cables. So I'm just going to go to about there. So that is literally now completely attached and stuck to there. Well, that still fits perfectly into there. I can straight away see that I can change my channels. So that means you can have one control unit and you can have dozens of these units. Sorry, it's a good idea right there. All over. We now have the remote control. You will open the back of the remote control. You will take the AAA batteries that you see included with the system. You will put them in 1, 2, 3. You will turn it on. You will get the channel to number 1. And this is when Charlie prays that we have a backdrop rolling down in under 30 minutes, let me add. And look how awesome that looks. So as you can see, we've now put the other 2 backdrops on there, and literally within 30 or 40 minutes we installed a 3-roller motorised backdrop system, mostly on my own, a couple of little blunders. All that we could do now is we could put a little bit of self-adhesive conduit on the wall to hide the cable. You may have put the plug socket in the ceiling so you wouldn't have any cable there at all. And there you have it, a triple Motorised roller system set to 107 inches wide, which is the standard paper width for seamless, brought to you by Clipbox Backdrops. We hope you have the same success of installation as I did, and don't forget the triple can be used mobile, it can be used on the wall or the ceiling, and we also do the 6 roller motorised system. So we'll see you soon.